Well, good evening. I'm here in Birmingham. We've got a very big audience and they're very enthusiastic. And this is my last GB News show of the year. I'm going to be back on New Year's Day, and it's a time, in many ways, for us all to reflect on the year that's gone by. I have to say, personally, I've had a pretty cracking year. I've just come back from a little trip to Australia, and this audience have seen a lot of me. In fact, the country has seen an awful lot of me. For some reason, ITV thought my naked showering was something that should be shared with the nation, but I thoroughly, oh, well, there are some fans of it here. I have to say, doing The Jungle was a really good thing to do. It was a chance to reach out to a younger audience, and a chance for me as a person to try and conquer my fears. If you'd said to me a couple of months ago that I would lie down in a darkened box 6 feet under the ground, where many in the European Parliament had always wanted to put me, and then to cover me with 20 snakes, I wouldn't have believed it. But I learned one or two tricks of the mind. I've learned, actually, all of us can overcome any fears that we have. It's just about getting your mind in the right place. So The Jungle was a really big moment for me. I was thrilled to reach the final, and 23 nights in the jungle. You think about it, no tea, no coffee, no salt, no sugar, no pepper, no alcohol. And I've come back thinner and fitter than I've been ever since I was at school. So that has been a really good thing for me to do this year. And of course, the middle of the year was dominated by the debanking scandal. There I was for 43 years, a loyal customer of the NatWest group, banking with Coutts, one of their wholly owned subsidiaries. And for no reason I could find at all, I finished up being told that all my accounts would be closed. And I can't tell you how terrifying it is to think you're going to be debanked. I went out onto the high street, I met many of the big clearers, many of the private banks. 10 other banks refused to do my business. It just shows you the extent to which the whole woke culture has overtaken the big corporates in our country and across the Western world. Well, of course, I could have just gone away quietly. Not kicked up a fuss. But I thought, no, I'm going to take the so-and-sos on. And they got rid of me because they didn't like the views that I stood for. Legal, democratic, perfectly reasonable views, but I was to be debanked because of that. So I fought them, and we managed to get rid of the CEO of Coutts and the CEO of NatWest, Dame Alison Rose, who said I didn't have enough money to have a bank account at Coutts. If she'd known I was going in the jungle, she might have changed her mind. And ever since the day it launched, I've loved being part of GB News. It seemed to me for years the establishment needed to be challenged, and a real highlight earlier this year was winning that Trick Award as News Presenter of the Year. And I did that because people like you voted for me, supported me, and it was so great to go up on the stage and be booed by the rest of the industry. Mind you, I did tell them probably they'd all lose their jobs, so perhaps it's not a great surprise. They got terribly upset. Another highlight was the Tory conference. I hadn't been to one for 30 years. And even though I was there as a GB News presenter, I was sort of treated like the prodigal son returning. So it's been a really great 2023. Now, whether Rishi Sunak would say that 2023 had been a phenomenal year, I'm not too sure. Of course, we've had the famous 5 pledges. One of them he is succeeding with, and that is, of course, that inflation is rapidly coming down. But given the contraction of money supply, I genuinely worry that we could be in recession in 2 or 3 months' time. And as for Stop the Boats, we're being told to celebrate that the numbers are down. Only 30,000 young men have crossed the English Channel this year. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be celebrating. As I say, I don't think he's had quite such a good year. I'm not sure the Conservative Party have had quite such a good year.